Buongiorno, grazie ancora per l'invito.
Good afternoon, and thank you very much to the organization for inviting me here. This is an opportunity to meet interesting companies for future development, but it is also an opportunity to communicate what we do. And I would like to tell you what Alibaba has been doing in the last 3 years. Ours was the first office to open up in Europe on the 25th of October 2015. How can I advance my slides? So in 15 minutes, I will try to provide you with an idea of our ecosystem. Then, of course, our office is based in Milan, and you can come and see us. We can make an appointment to further deepen all this and find the solution that is best suited to your companies. We like to start our presentations with a series of pictures, a before shot and an after shot, to show how much China has changed in the last 30 years. People who went to Shanghai in 1990 found Pudong, as you can see on the left, but on the right you can see how it is today. So this demonstrates how quickly China is evolving and changing. Those who started a business with China 10 years ago and have gone on doing business, making business with China, for sure know that things have changed and everything is much faster today. Let me give you some general figures about China, many of which are already well known. Let me focus on the fact that internet users today amount to about 800 million, and in the next 2 years they will go up to 900 million. What about the use of mobile phones to shop? Well, today it is used in 68% of cases, but in our ecosystem it's already 90%. This means that people who want to provide e-commerce in China must opt for mobile-friendly type of communication, knowing that customers are young men belonging to the millennials or Z generation. It is also important to see that in China today, unlike Europe, there are 260 cities with over 1 million inhabitants. This means that if we decided to approach China the traditional way, it would take years and unimaginable costs to be able to reach at least each one of these 260 cities. On top of this, the Chinese middle class consists of 300 million people today. In 2 years, this will soar to 500 million. A middle class with a propensity to shopping similar to the one of the Italian middle class in the 60s and in the 80s. So, significant predisposition to shopping. And since they have had access to import countries only in the last few years, there is still a lot of curiosity and interest towards these products. This is a graphical representation of our ecosystem. At the center, loyal to our mission of 1999, which was that of facilitating business for everybody with a special focus on small and medium enterprise. So at the center of our ecosystem, we have sellers and buyers. Then you can see our most important marketplaces, both online and offline. We have recently included HimaFresh, the one with the hippo in the logo on the left bottom. That is a concrete experiment of the new retail strategy, i.e. the integration between online and offline. Recently, our founder has replied as follows to the question, which is the future of e-commerce. E-commerce will die or is already dead. Why? Well, because in China today, and this is the most advanced country as far as e-commerce is concerned, only 15% of companies are digitized. 85% of companies are still not digitized. So it is our target not to digitize this 85% of companies in the coming years, but to integrate and to operate an integration between online and offline, so that consumers can make one single purchasing experience. And this approach is particularly significant for food products, imported products, because these are not part of the culture of Chinese consumers. Therefore, we need to help them get to know the products, possibly also through a real experience. HEMA is the concrete experiment of the new retail strategy, i.e., medium to high ranking supermarkets where 70% of the purchase is made by mobile phone. You can buy only through your app, and delivery takes place within 30 minutes within a radius of 3 kilometers or within the end of the day in the big cities. We're developing this chain, and at the moment we're very focused on seafood, fish products, which are very beloved in China. And we're also further developing import products. In the outer arch, you can see all the support services that we provide to our customers, and they're free to choose whether they want them or not. Alipay is for sure the most important one. It's the most widespread payment system in China, proprietary system. In China, e-commerce develops so quickly because e-commerce is based on a product, an efficient logistics or logistical system, and trust between the buyer and the seller. In 1999, when we launched Alibaba.com, buyers from Chinese companies were in the United States or in Europe. So these people had to pay in advance, or others had to send products in advance without payment, and this caused problems. Alipay is a payment system that guarantees both the buyer and the seller, because those who buy through ePay, that communicates that the payment has been done, then the products are sent. Once the products have arrived and have been checked and are compliant, Alipay will pay the seller withdrawing their own fee. And we have AliCloud and many other services as well. So which is a fundamental difference of the digital approach in China versus the Western world. In China today, with one single counterpart, i.e. Alibaba, it is possible to have access to all those services which in the Western countries are provided by different counterparts. To sell, to promote, to communicate, to create brand awareness. There are many different providers. 200 million Chinese consumers come in contact with our system on a daily basis, and they remain for 20-25 minutes to carry out the most different activities. The biggest B2C marketplace in China has also become the #1 media reference for those who want to increase the awareness of the brand or sell or promote a product. Let me give you a couple of data about Alibaba. There are two I would like to stress on. So 90% of the purchases made on the mobile phone. We have more than 10 million active merchants, and we have more than 570 million active consumers, i.e. individuals who buy something at least once a month. This is a big opportunity, but it is a big challenge as well. Because if you approach a marketplace like Alibaba without a structured and well-planned program, it's like opening up a website and not promoting it. I mean, even if you have the best products at the best price, nobody will be able to find them. Therefore, it is important to shape around the production of a virtual online shop with marketing online, which is necessary to engage the Chinese consumer. These kind of activities are done on the social media, not necessarily inside our ecosystem, and they attract consumers driven by the social media to buy in your flagship stores. The single day, for instance, is an event that was invented in 2007 by Alibaba. It has become the biggest shopping event worldwide, and we're getting ready for the 11th of November, which will be the next Singles Day. These are the figures of last year. 812 million deliveries on the following day. We deliver on average 55 million boxes. So this number of boxes is the target for Alibaba. This is what we want to do on a daily basis. 80% of brands in Forbes Top 100 have a flagship store on our platforms, and these are the more than 200 official Italian brands that have a flagship store. On the 5th of September, we have launched, together with the Italian Foreign Trade Commission, Hello Ito, which is a privileged portal for Italian companies that are already present on the digital market. The purpose is that of disseminating culture, because when we talk about Italian food, Chinese consumers are still too ignorant about the products, about the makes, the brands. Therefore, since we do not have the possibility to sell at a competitive price compared to others, it is necessary to create brand awareness. This is why, together with the Italian government, we have launched this program that will cause traffic on the Italian flagship stores and will produce culture and promotional activities. On the 18th, it will be officially presented in the presence of the ambassador in our campus. This is the first example of a national permanent pavilion in our ecosystem. When we have official visits, we usually have websites dedicated to the different governments, opening and closing with the visit. This is a pilot project. We've chosen Italy to start with, and we're all very concentrated. And this will bring significant advantages to the Italian companies. So here you can see how you see the product you're buying. You can also see Muki here, that is represented here at CLAL. This was the first Italian milk that the Italian Alibaba office has contributed with. So it is a direct purchase of an interesting number of containers that have led to the opening of a flagship store on Tmall. Other milk companies are following this example, and we hope that they will go up in number. I've listened to very interesting presentations today, and I've heard about zero mile and sustainability. Well, in China, sustainability is very important. As far as the zero-mile products are concerned, there is a counter trend. There is a big demand for European imported products, specifically milk and water, exactly the opposite to what is happening here in Europe. So this is how you see the products on your mobile. Because as I told you before, most people nowadays buy via the mobile. Well, many companies come to us with the idea of starting selling 570 million consumers, China, e-commerce, everything is going to be easy. No, you can get in contact with us only after you have answered all these questions. That is, you must have a marketing plan. Getting to China through e-commerce can be a facilitated way, because you can get within 27 to 2 hours to every single area in China with an immediate communication and product delivery. And you can have target-oriented communications as well, specific for your own reference target. So not general communication, but a communication for my potential customers. But I must be prepared. I must be ready, because otherwise it'll be a failure and you will lose both time and money. There are two alternatives, wholesale and retail. We have heard about the other Chinese company before that is a leader in retail, because that's our own business model. We are a marketplace, a platform, and with Tmall Direct Import, we're also developing the wholesale side, so we buy and resell. During this phase, we actually turn to those products that are today very well known in China and already have a market. In the last few months, we have set up one single purchasing center, and we're now beginning to introduce some leading products in their country of origin that have a potential for development in China but still lack organized distribution. The retail part regards the direct management by the company of flagship stores This can be Tmall Global or Tmall Com. Tmall Globe is dedicated to those companies that have never been to China or are poorly represented in China. They do not have importers or distributors. Their products have not been credited in China. The products just come from the country of origin, and this is possible due to a law that was passed in 2015 and that makes the access of import products for Chinese consumers easier. And this is a very important test for companies because without having to put up with big initial costs, you can actually test your brand on the market and you can sell directly to the Chinese final consumer. An opportunity with some limitations because this is a facilitated access that has the first limit residing in the fact that it is only B2C. So if I have a stock in a tax-free area, I cannot sell them to a distributor but only to final consumers. So Tmall.com is for those companies that already have a local identity in China or an importer involved in the management. Products are registered in China, there are Chinese warehouses, there is a Chinese bank account, and several other characteristics. The marketplace is the same, but one is dedicated to those who are not present in China, and the second one is dedicated to those who already have a stable and well-organized presence. How do you open a store? Well, the company decides about their own commercial penetration policy on the Chinese market. So, unlike what usually happens these days, you go to the fair, meet an importer, you sell a couple of containers, and then the product is abandoned to the distributor who can do with it what they want. Well, through the direct management of flagship stores, the company can decide about the price quality, the marketing, communication campaigns, and the positioning of the product. So they are the owners of all this. And on top of that, it is necessary to change roles, so the company is no longer just a producer, it is also selling itself. Can the company actually manage its shops? It is very difficult, and also capital ventures make use of specialized agencies that were developed in China with the development of marketplaces. Imagine an evolved web agency with competencies on logistics, able to provide 360-degree services to companies, from creating a store to daily management and then the end-to-end of the product. What does Alibaba do? We generally provide our marketplace and we take care of payments, and we provide the logistic platform, which is a system that integrates those who are already active in this field. We do not have internal logistics like the previous Chinese company before my presentation, but we have an integrated system. So you integrate the logistic manager of the country of origin with the Chinese border, with the Chinese warehouse, and the last mile forwarding agent, as if this was one single documental flow. So as if the very same company that is selling from Italy is the same one that delivers to the final customer. On top of that, we also provide large promotional events, which in some companies, like we've seen on the 11th of November, may make up in one single day 50% of the whole turnover of 1 year. So it is very important for companies to have a ranking which is given by the customers depending on the shop and the services provided. It is important to have a high value, otherwise you won't have access to these promotions. And not being present at the important promotions, be it the single day or the 18th of June, may mean losing 50-30% of your turnover of the year. Recommendations to be successful: have a dedicated team. So it is important for the company to have people who can read, write, and speak Chinese. So Tmall is a B2C marketplace on the Italian market dedicated to Chinese consumers. Therefore, it is important for the company to have not only somebody who can exchange conversations on a daily basis, but they also have to check that the message you wanted to deliver has actually been understood correctly. It is necessary to have a long-term prospect. China is not easy. Prospects are very important. E-commerce can reduce slightly the time to market timing, but you always have to think of the 3-year plan. Made in Italy still has a value. It has to be communicated, it has to be expanded and used, but don't be too sophisticated, because the level of knowledge of the Chinese consumer is not very detailed. They know about Italy, they know about Ferrari, they know about Milan, the capital of shopping, but there is a lot of confusion about all the rest. And very often people say that the Italian situation is too complex, considering the fact that our area is not all that big. So before you start, you must know about the rules, the logistics, the positioning of your product in the next few years. And then clearly, since we're here to help you along this journey, once you have identified that China can be your destination country and e-commerce and Alibaba the channel or one of the channels to enter such a market, we are at your disposal to come with you on this journey and take on this adventure with you. Back to what we had heard before, i.e. the features of a product and the values of a product. In China, well, first of all, let me tell you that Alibaba's average customers are 25 to 35 years old. The youngest ones were 22 to 28, the Z generation ones, were born and grew up with China that was already open. Consumers of my age actually used to be confronted with a very closed market with limited access. So you have to understand that the future customer for your products are these young people, and you have to adjust the communication of your products and your company to the fact that these young people buy via the mobile phone and they need a type of communication that is suited to their age. Especially in very traditional sectors, the approach must be changed. The values of these young men and women who have grown up in a non-sustainable society, will know what happened in China in the past, are experiencing a change in direction. China wants to have a sustainable development, and these young people pay a lot of attention to this. So sustainability, respect of animal welfare, biological products that must be certified in China. These are all very important values for Chinese computers, and they're willing to pay more. But in China today, what is important is the price and the brand. Therefore, companies who want to tackle the Chinese market must know that they have to create a brand. This is our new retail strategy with the integration between online experience and offline experience. Alibaba is no longer just an e-commerce society. Initially, we were a data company, and today we can claim that we are a social entertainment media company. Every digital experience made in China is done in the presence of Alibaba, and Chinese consumers are highly digitized, and China is the leader of this digital revolution compared to other countries, with figures that are significantly higher than ours. Italy yesterday presented you this data, and we have to say that Italy is ranking last in Europe. The UK is the most advanced country. What is happening there has nothing to do with what you see today in China. Right, this is our target for the next few years, creating an EWP, that is a platform, an e-commerce platform, to help small and medium enterprises to guarantee contact with global consumers, with the purpose of connecting 10 million sellers with 2 billion consumers. Asia still is our focus, and in the next few years we would like to create 100 million jobs. Thank you very much. I hope I have stuck to the time allowed to me. Of course, I'm here and today and also tomorrow if you have any questions. Thank you.